Hello guys! Welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the most fascinating tales of history and legend. Today, we're exploring a legendary story of kings, oracles, and the timeless search for truth. Get ready for an adventure into the ancient world of Lydia. Long ago, King Croesus of Lydia, famed for his immense wealth, decided to put the oracles of the world to the test. He wished to know which of them truly possessed divine foresight. To accomplish this, he dispatched messengers from his capital of Sardis with very specific instructions. They were to count each day from their departure, and on the 100th day, they were to stand before each oracle and ask a single, carefully chosen question. What was King Croesus, the son of Herodotus, doing at that exact moment? The messengers were to write down the answers verbatim and carry them back to the king. Of all the replies gathered, history only preserved the one from the revered oracle of Delphi. The moment the Lydian emissaries crossed into the sacred sanctuary, even before they could voice their question, the Pythia, the priestess of Apollo, fell into a trance and spoke her prophecy in haunting hexameter verse. I can count the grains of sand on every shore and measure the vastness of the ocean's depths. I hear the words of those who do not speak and understand the meaning of the silent heart. Behold, a smell comes to my senses now. The scent of a hard-shelled tortoise, boiling together with the flesh of a lamb in a cauldron. The vessel below is made of brass, and its cover above is brass as well. Awestruck, the Lydian messengers recorded every word the priestess uttered. They then began the long journey back to Sardis to present all the gathered prophecies to their king. When every envoy had returned, Croesus personally unsealed and read each scroll. Only one answer earned his complete belief. The astonishingly precise response from Delphi. The moment he heard it, he bowed in deep reverence, convinced of its supernatural truth. For he had devised a test he believed was impossible for anyone to guess. After his messengers had left, he had pondered long on what action would be most inconceivable. When the appointed 100th day arrived, he had done just that. With his own royal hands, he took a tortoise and a lamb, cut them into pieces, and boiled them together inside a brazen cauldron, sealed with a lid also made of brass. As for the response from the oracle of Amphiaraus, which the Lydians consulted after performing the proper rituals, no record of its words survives for later generations. All that is known is that Croesus also came to trust that oracle's voice. Satisfied with his proof, Croesus then sought to win the enduring favor of the Delphic god through an act of spectacular generosity. He initiated a magnificent sacrifice, offering up 3,000 animals of every kind fit for offering. He built a gigantic pyre and placed upon it luxurious couches plated with silver and gold, golden drinking vessels and splendid robes and tunics dyed deep purple, all of which were consumed by the flames in his quest for divine assurance. He further commanded all his subjects throughout Lydia to make offerings according to their own means, uniting the kingdom in this grand act of piety. But Croesus was not finished. He ordered a vast quantity of gold to be melted and cast into solid ingots. Each bar was crafted to be 6 palms long, 3 palms wide, and 1 palm thick. In total, there were 117 of these ingots. Among them, 4 were made of the purest refined gold, each weighing 2.5 talents. The rest were of a paler gold, each weighing 2 talents. His most magnificent artistic offering was a statue of a lion, fashioned entirely from refined gold, and weighing a staggering 10 talents. In a later age, when a great fire consumed the temple at Delphi, this lion would topple from the ingots that formed its base. It survived, but its weight was reduced by the flames to only 6.5 talents. To this day, it resides in the Corinthian treasury at the site. His royal offerings were then sent on the long road to Delphi. The procession included 2 colossal mixing bowls, one of gold, one of silver, which were originally placed on either side of the temple entrance. These 2 were displaced by the famous fire. The golden bowl, now kept in the Clazomenian treasury, weighs 8 talents and 42 minae. The immense silver bowl, which holds 600 amphorae, as the Delphians know from filling it during the sacred Theophania festival, stands in a corner of the antechapel. Skilled artisans of the age attributed this masterpiece to Theodorus of Samos, and its craftsmanship leaves little doubt of its legendary maker. The gifts continued: 4 large silver jars, now housed in the Corinthian treasury, and a pair of sacred vessels used for ritual purification, one of gold, one of silver. An inscription on the golden vessel names the Lacedaemonians as donors. But this was a later addition by a Delphian engraver seeking to flatter Sparta. In truth, both vessels were gifts from Croesus. Only a small statue of a boy, through whose hands water flowed for washing, was an authentic Spartan offering. Alongside these major treasures came many others: round silver basins, a golden statue 3 cubits high said to represent the king's own baker, and even the precious necklace and girdles that belonged to Croesus's queen. To the shrine of the hero Amphiaraus, a warrior whose courage and tragic fate Croesus knew well, the king sent a shield made entirely of gold and a spear of solid gold, including its shaft. These remarkable objects survived for centuries, stored in the temple of Ismenian Apollo in Thebes until at least the historian's own time. The messengers entrusted with this mountain of treasure had one final crucial duty. They were to pose 2 vital questions to the oracles. Should Croesus march to war against the rising power of the Persians? And if so, should he seek the strength of a military alliance? After delivering the gifts, they put the questions forth. The oracles, in harmonious agreement, each gave the same dual-edged reply. If Croesus attacked the Persians, he would destroy a mighty empire. They further counseled him to seek out and ally with the most powerful of the Greek peoples. Croesus received this news with immense joy. Interpreting the prophecy in the most favorable light, he felt certain it foretold the downfall of the Persian Empire. In his gratitude, he sent yet another lavish gift to Delphi: 2 gold staters for every citizen of Delphi, a number he had taken care to learn. In return, the Delphians granted extraordinary honors to Croesus and all Lydians: the right to be first in line to consult the oracle, freedom from all consultation fees, the best seats at all public festivals, and the perpetual privilege of claiming Delphian citizenship whenever they wished. Emboldened and now a devout believer, Croesus consulted the oracle a 3rd time. Having verified its accuracy, he wished to use its guidance for his most personal concern. His new question was direct: would his kingdom endure for a long time? The Pythia's response was another poetic riddle: wait until the time shall come when a mule sits as monarch of Media. Then, O delicate Lydian, flee to the pebbled banks of the Hermus River. You must hasten away, and feel no shame for acting the coward. This answer pleased Croesus more than any other. To him, the idea of a mule, a sterile hybrid ever ruling the Medes, was a clear impossibility. He therefore concluded that his own reign and his dynasty were secure forever, that no end was foretold. With this assurance, he finally turned his attention to the oracle's earlier advice about allies. He began a thorough investigation to determine which of the Greek states was the most powerful. His inquiries consistently highlighted 2 peoples who stood above the rest: the Lacedaemonians, the Spartans, and the Athenians. The former were of Doric descent, the latter of Ionian. These 2 nations, one a Pelasgic people who had never left their ancestral lands, and the other a Hellenic people, with a long history of migration, had risen to become the preeminent powers in the Greek world. The Hellenes' journey had been long, from the lands of Herodotus in the time of Deucalion to the slopes of Ossa and Olympus under Doris, then displaced to the Pindus Mountains where they were called Mesepni, before moving to Dryopis and finally sweeping into the Peloponnese to become the Dorians known to history. Thus, confident in divine favor and strategic alliance, Croesus laid the groundwork for decisions that would echo through history, setting in motion a chain of events whose true meaning, as often with oracles, would only become clear in the harsh light of fate. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of Croesus and the oracles, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more historical deep dives and legendary tales. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What other ancient puzzles or kingly dramas would you like us to explore next? Hit the bell icon to get notified every time we upload.